Hello, today I'm going to walk you through a very special place, Spa Francorchamps. Everybody that is raced at Spa in real life, it pretty much turns to be their favorite track in the world, and I am no exception. I've had the luxury to race there in a couple of different cars over the years, and it's a fantastic place. So, I'm back in the Formula Renault. I really like that car too, and it's a good series in iRacing. This is the lap time that I just turned. No, this is 5 laps I did, 19.4, 19.6, 19.6. We're going to look at a 19.4. And this is in the default weather and not a whole lot of grip on the track. I actually did an 18.7 or 18.8 in qualifying in the race trim with the other guys with more rubber on track. But for the videos, it's much easier to do it in my own session. So here we go. I remove this and then we go straight to the brake marker. We're going to La Source. And you see that the brake marker will be, because we're going slightly uphill, and then it goes a little bit more positive uphill, and then it starts to go down. So you have a little bit of a crest. We're back to the crest and all these things as we go. So I'm still on the gas. You can see I'm still on the gas here. And I'll be braking just about where that orange marker in the fence is. You know, so you see the 50-meter board. I just went by the 100, which is very hard to see in all of these modern FIA tracks. The boards are so far out to the side. It's really your peripheral vision. And you see I am still on the gas, transitioning to brakes right there, and there is that opening window. So that's the best reference I can give you in the Formula Renault. But in a lot of cars, it will be very similar to here because of the crest, which I was describing. You know, so I could maybe brake a little bit later because I'm going to have to ease off dramatically on the brake pressure. As I lose the camber from the track, I will need to brake a little bit earlier. It's very easy to get sucked in, and so and then you end up straight at the La Source Hotel. That's not the La Source Hotel, but it's very close. It's I've had the pleasure of staying there a couple of times, and it's great. So you just walk in, walk out. So off we go. I'm still straight, hard on the brakes, and then tapering off, and see, there is the 50. And just about now, I'll start to trail brake. Right there, just on top of the crest. I'll start turning. There is a mark here, but by now, your eyes are on the inside curb, which you cannot see because of the mirror. Again, that's one of the problems. In real life, you can move your head in and out, and you can change the angle towards the mirror. Well, on the sim, you can change your head as much as you want. It doesn't change the picture. So, you know, if you have a VR headset, it does work a little bit better for that, but a lot of other problems with the VR, which you don't have this peripheral vision. So the goal is to get, now I'll be tapering off the brakes. I'm on the brakes. You see, I'm looking over here, and you can still see my pedals right there. Turning, and just about now, as I lose the camber, I'm now completely off the brakes. This is where I get to the peak of the steering, still no gas at all, really rotating the car and aiming to get towards that apex. You see that the car is responding. As I'm going in, you see the yaw rate is there. I'm turning more and more, so that's not understeer. That is not turning in the understeer. That is just a very tight corner. And then, because of that dip in here, it's very delicate. You really want no stress on the car at all. No brakes, no gas. If you put any torque at all, you're either going to understeer out or oversteer on the inside here. So you ride it out, and I'm gonna go look at where do I pick up the gas. It will be just past that apex. See, there is the wall. Boom, I just went to some throttle. There I am, very close to the wall. Now some cars, you're better off missing that apex curb by about a foot because of the step that you have there. In the Formula Renault, in most Formula cars, you definitely want to be on there. It was the same case in the P3. But that's more precise, but it's not a huge loss if you don't. So if you end up missing a little bit of turning in and you are as much as a half a car width away from that apex, it's not a big deal. It's better to be more precise at it because it will allow you for a better exit. Now watch how fast my hands will open up. You see my throttle? And I'll go look at my steering. I go whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm already full throttle though. There is the wall. I'm already full throttle. Now we are in second gear, so the torque is not super high, and I get away with that, and I go open up the hands, maybe even an oversteer catch, I don't remember on this lap. Nope, that's nice and clean all the way through. So backing up just a second, just to give you the quick rundown of how fast my hands will go in live speed. Whoop, 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 and open. And then after you raise back on the camber, you are flat on the gas. Now, next famous Eau Rouge on radio. It's actually, in this case, a very easy corner. All you need to look out for is actually this red Marshall box here, which I don't know if it's manned. It must be manned. I never seen a flag there because typically the problems are not here, they're up on top. Or at least I don't remember seeing a flag. So here we go, and you want to turn in just about where that is. Now some cars, a heavier car like the P3, waiting for the red box was too late. But it was a good reference for you to go almost to the red box. In the Formula Renault, because it's a lighter car, I think I turned in exactly at the red box. Nope, just before. You see, I just turned in right here. But that's where the red box is. And you can still see in your peripheral vision, you're aiming for the curb. And the big mistake that people make is that they really try from here to go into this area here, to really clobber the curb and to have two wheels on the left side of the white line to then get a better angle up on top. You don't need to do that. Very rare is a car that needs to do that. You can get away with that, but you're going to scrub more speed because so much of the turning will happen right here in the compression. This is so steep. This is so steep, and you are coming down into a massive compression. That's why we get in the P3, we're getting 3.5, 3.8 Gs through there, I think, and we are flat. The first year I was there, we didn't quite have the setup right, and the car was bottoming so hard that I was never able to go flat through there. I actually went faster through there in the rain than I did in the dry. But when we finally got it sorted out, last year with Cool Racing, it was flat easy. I mean, outside of my first 2 laps in the race, I think every single lap after that was flat. And you just go, and you actually can address the line a little bit as you go. So you see right over it, but no more, and that's the angle. You don't want to be too far from that white line. I'm going to shift over to the helicopter view, and you see that's where I am. I'm exactly on that, and from there on, I'm just going to go straight towards the Radion. The Radion is what the right-hander hill is called. You know, everybody calls it Eau Rouge, but really it's Radion. I can take my pedals away because this is flat easy all day long, particularly in the Formula Renault. So off I go, precise, and that's where you turn the car. You see my hands just went up. That's where you turn the car. You need to turn the car within that compression. If you are still trying to turn when you get too light over here, now you're in trouble. And it shouldn't be a problem at all. You just go, boom, turn, and then free the car. Hands are almost straight. Use some of the curb on the left, that's okay, as long as you don't get that 1X. And flat. Stay on the right, to then transition to the left. Les Combes 1, 2, 3. Very difficult, complex, massive speed. And there again, I'm going to stop just before the braking. So there is the beginning of the curb. And actually, move a little bit further. You see that there again, similar thing. We're going uphill, and halfway to the curb, there is a little bit of a crest. I need to seize the brakes just before that crest. If I go past the crest, the car's light can't make it. If I brake before too much, well, I'm overslowing. So I go right to that. This will be down to 4th gear in the Formula Renault. And it's not a super heavy braking. We'll go and see where do I actually brake. Boom. Right here. 2, I just went past. Where is that? Oh yeah, it's a long way. There is the 100-meter board. There is the beginning of the curb. And I go up there. Chopper view, because we can. That's where I am. Remove it. You see the 100-meter board still here. And I'm halfway through that curb when I get on the brakes. Then, much earlier turning in than you think. This is all about entry speed. And you see that as I go into here, it's all about entry speed. And watch again, look at the camber. It's positive on, and just about halfway through it, you see right there, I can see the track until here, and I no longer can see it on the other side. Well, at that point, that means that the car will get like, I'm losing the camber. That's why whatever you do, you need to turn the car before it. You can use a lot of that apex curb, no stress on the throttle or the brakes. You go through here, and now, if you're a little bit too far to the left, because of the camber, you roll into oversteer and that end up on the right, or you can't ever make it back. So it's critical that you are where we are here. You can go back to power hard to load the rear, and then as you turn to the left, depending on the car, you probably will need, see, I turn left, and then I, boom, get off the gas. And normally, I would always say, do the longitudinal load transfer before you do the lateral one. But in this case, because you're catching compression again, it's too sharp. So I actually turn, lift, turn more. So I do a second one as I go into here. So I still do it for the primary, but it's in 2 steps. So you see right there, I just lifted, and watch my hands are gonna go up a little bit more. There you go, they did. And then I go, and now I go back to throttle on the way out. Very critical with the setup that I have in this car, that you go back to power, so that the rear end is planted, and also that the diff is active to help you steer through it at the end. Les comme 3, you don't really need to track out all the way out of 2. If you end up all the way out of 2, it will compromise 3. But you don't want to compromise 2 too much either. So it's a blend. Whether you are where I ended up here or a half a car width left, it's okay. Les comme 3, the lift needs to be much earlier than you think, because there again, look at up, down, crest. I'll go, I'll turn, and then I go. Now this will have to be in 2 videos, so this is part 1 and we're almost out of time. Back to power hard, use some of the curb, you will go to the other one, and go. So I'm actually gonna stop this video, and then we'll go on to the next segments.